All right, this is going to be perhaps some of you your last meal this evening. And by the way, that's the way to do it. Is you want to, you're going to fast, you're going to start a fast. I like to have my last dinner, and then that starts your fast because then you can go to bed and you already have 12 hours under your belt, right? So that's a good way to do it. So tonight, my advice to you, and by the way, this is a video on what to expect and also some things you need to know about the fast. So a good one to share with people that are fasting. Make sure they see the video. But yeah, one of the questions that I do get a lot is, okay, when do I start, right? My recommendation would be have dinner tonight, and that would be your last meal. So think about it. So it's Saturday night to Sunday night, right? So that's one day. So that's Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, you will break your fast. That's my favorite way of doing it, as opposed to eating breakfast and doing it the opposite way where you'd have breakfast Friday morning. So I prefer to look forward to Thursday night's dinner as being the last meal. Now look, if you hadn't watched the video, most of you at this point have chosen your fast. And I had a video on that of just a few videos ago. If you haven't, go back and watch on what fast should I do, how to choose a fast. Watch that video, because there's advantages and disadvantages to every fast. And again, I'm going to start with the obvious because I'm going to get a lot of questions about medications, things like that. If you haven't checked with your doctor at this point, you better. I've said that many, many times, especially when water fasting, because there's certain medications that are very critical when doing this. So that's one of the big reasons why you have to check with your doctor, because medications, you need a lot less of certain medications. You have to be working with him, especially diabetic type of medications. Very important that those would need adjusted. But as always during any fast, yes, check with your doctor, and yes, you will take your medications. Okay, so that's off the top. Even if it's a partial fast or a fasting mimicking diet, same advice applies. Okay, here's another one that I get all the time. What about my supplements? If you're water fasting, there's only 3 approved supplements that I like that help the symptoms of fasting. And you've heard me talk about them. We actually put them together and we call it the fasting trio. And perhaps my team can put the link there. It's good to have those on hand, because if you're having trouble, those 3 can be amazing to help the symptoms. And what it is with them is they don't push the body one way or another. That's what we don't want during a water fast. During the fasting mimicking diet, which is the boxes that you get, you can continue to take most of your supplements, same with a partial fast, without a problem. Although, hey, I like to give yourself a break anyway. That's really my favorite. But if there's those things you feel you absolutely want to take on those types of fasts, absolutely do it. On a water fast, or just like even any of the other fasts, you can do some salt water, no problem. Some electrolytes, some magnesium, no problem. If you desire some potassium even, those types of things actually can help you, especially the first 3 days of a fast, because you're dumping a lot of stored sugar called glycogen. And when you dump it, you lose electrolytes. So that can be beneficial. But sipping 1 to 2 teaspoons, that's another question I get, how much sea salt? 1 to 2 teaspoons is very typical a day in warm water. In hot water, it tastes like soup, especially once you get down the road in the fast. It becomes very enjoyable. And some people, even 4 teaspoons of sea salt in warm water is very helpful. And it also helps with energy. It also helps you just feel a little better, honestly, with some of those electrolytes. In some people, if you're getting a lot of muscle spasms, magnesium and calcium can play a big role. So those are the allowable things on a fast, even water fasting. So, again, I want to just encourage you to really write down your goals, your expectations in the beginning as well. And I would start that tonight. And again, I think that that's going to grow as you get into the fast. Remember, when you don't take your energy in putting it into digestion, in assimilation of food, you have a lot of energy left to heal, but also throughout your thought process. You gain definitely a greater understanding. Some things that you couldn't necessarily really get your head around, big life decisions. Fasting is an amazing time to really pray about those things that have, you've been worried about perhaps, or you couldn't get an idea around. I've gotten some of my greatest ideas in and around my fasting time. My wife and I were praying for you all this morning and asking God for revelations for you. And one of the things that I got was, this is the time to plant the seeds. As we look back on our fasts, it's a time that we did in fact plant seeds through prayer. And then we realized it was during that fast that so many things came to fruition in our life. And it wasn't even during the fast. It was the seeds planted during the fast. And one of the things, words my wife got for you all is really trusting God and waiting on God, which went very much so with what I got for you all. Is plant the seeds and then wait and trust in knowing that He is going to bring those seeds to bloom for you, whether it's a prayer for a family member, someone you love, a breakthrough in your own life. And again, when I look back, it's during fast that we've gotten some of the greatest benefits and breakthroughs in our life. So plant those seeds. I would start planting them even this evening. Wake up tomorrow morning and water those seeds. Start praying and focusing on that. We like to make lists of things that we're praying for and the things that we're expecting God to break through. I'm getting a sun thing going on here. I apologize for that. But that we expect breakthrough for God. And, that's what I do. Expect breakthroughs because He loves to give them, especially when we're honoring Him with something as great as a fast, giving up something that controls our life in so many ways. It really does. Something happens in fast, and I'll kind of share this more as we go on, but during a fast, you get physically weaker. You get, no doubt about it, there's a certain, just reliance on God. There's a certain reliance on your innate intelligence in your body. There's something that weakens our strength and our self. Even though this last fast, because remember I had to actually fast earlier, so I actually went through my fast already because I was going to Mexico to interview this stem cell scientist. And man, just what a breath of knowledge that I got from this man. And a blessing, that I always love to see how they're doing things, see the new science around certain things. And I like to bring it to you all, so I'll share more of those things as we go. But I'll tell you, it was amazing because I went through my fast and then I had a couple days and then I got some stem cell injections while I was down there. Why did I do that? Because it really put my body in that perfect position, because I went through autophagy and then my body was raising up its own stem cells in that perfect environment. So putting extra stem cells in at that time, I believe it's absolute magic. So that's why I fasted earlier. But the bottom line is that, again, I probably had the most transformative fast I ever had. It was definitely the easiest for me, and not that fasts are difficult for me at this point, but I don't know. I never got hungry, and I shared that on one of the videos, not one time. And usually day one, I get hungry right when I typically eat. So that's one of the expectations, things to expect tomorrow. You're going to get hungry when you typically eat your first meal. So if your first meal is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, guess what? You're probably going to get hungry around that time. It didn't happen to me this time. I don't know why. And then day two, that sometimes happens at least once. Maybe right around dinner, I'll get a little hungry. Keep yourself busy, and that's some advice that I have tomorrow. Keep yourself very busy and distracted. Go to a movie. It is going to be Sunday, so you might not have a lot to do. But keep yourself busy, and I think it goes a long way with staying extremely busy. I wish I could avoid the sun. I so apologize. It's killing me, actually, probably more than it's killing you. There you go. That's out of my eyes now. But anyway, so I think that that's a really, really important thing to do. But again, reflect on these things that you're really expecting God to move in. Plant those seeds. I'm telling you, watch what happens. Because things will always happen during the fast. I think, I always get certain things, revelation, my wife as well, but expect those seeds to be, obviously, bear fruit, because that's what happens. And it could be months and months later after the fact, but write it down so you can obviously reflect back and see where God moved. But look, I don't, whatever your beliefs are, I believe this. When you look at Y'all know my beliefs, right? And I appreciate the fact that I can share them with you, and you don't judge me on that, and I don't judge you on yours. But when we look at all religions in the world, you realize that they disagree on everything, even prayer, except one thing, and that's fasting. So I know we can all agree on fasting. I know that we can all agree that transformation happens during fast. And one of the things is in fact that we are in that more weakened state. But when I say weakened, it's really a stronger state. Because when we are weak, God is what? He is strong. So arguably, you're going to be in the strongest place that you've been in ever if you've never fasted. You may feel weaker, but spiritually and emotionally, I just want you to anchor in to you're at the strongest place, the place that you need to be for breakthrough, for God to move in your life. When we're weak, He is strong. And I believe that's what allows our subconscious to actually hear when we're able to get our own thoughts down. We get into that more weakened but yet stronger state. Now we can all of a sudden hear the things we need to hear. And oftentimes it's already there. And during a fast, it comes out. I've had ideas come to me that way. Revelation of things I just couldn't get my head around. And it's just that distraction from our subconscious that allows that download to happen. Expect it. I'm telling you these things, and that's why this video is important, because if I don't tell you, you won't listen for it. You won't expect it to happen. And if you expect it, the chances of it happening are that much greater that you'll get those downloads and those breakthroughs. If you have a physical ailment, I want you to be able to visualize the healing occurring in your body. Remember one of the 7 benefits of fasting, and I will review these as we go through the days, because I'll probably review it tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And from this point on, by the way, I'm doing a video every day. So tomorrow, I'll do a video. Monday, I'm doing a video. Tuesday, a video, all the way through the fast, through Thursday. And because I want to tell you what's happening in your body during this time. Believe me, God will give me words to give you as well as Marilee. But it's very important that we understand these benefits and what's happening. But one of the benefits is basically energy diversion. Your body takes that energy and it starts to utilize it for healing. And I believe that you start visualizing some of the healing that I know I did that. And this time, and you want to visualize your body utilizing that energy exactly where you want it to be focused. Intention is very important, especially during a time of fasting. So remember this: the physical weakness you may feel, the emotional weakness that you may feel is actually strength. So I want to give you that intention right now to reverse it to the fact is you're becoming weaker, but ultimately you're actually stronger. So expect breakthroughs, write them down. Tonight will be your last meal. And if you're partial fasting or you're doing the boxes, then tonight will still be your last regular meal. You can eat your box of food on the fasting mimicking diet, the Prolone diet, or if you're doing a partial fast. But the bottom line is go back and watch. If you haven't chose a fast, go back and please watch what fast to choose. And I talked about the advantages and disadvantages of each fast, why a fasting mimicking diet, I think, has some advantages over just doing a regular partial fast, and why I think you still benefit from autophagy. It's a great and easy place to start. I talked about what I feel some of the advantages are of just water fasting, but I also expressed some of the disadvantages there as well. So, all right, so that right now, what to expect, all I want you to grasp is this: for tomorrow, you're going to get hungry around the time that you eat. Very typical. You're going to think emotionally about food many times, so pray about that. Matter of fact, I would, every time that happens, if you just say, okay, I'm going to pray, every time that happens, guess how many times you're going to pray? You'll be blessed, trust me. So reverse it once again and have a plan. Remember, if you have a plan, you're going to succeed, right? So, and by the way, most of you have been following these videos. You're well trained for the race, right? I said you don't start running a marathon, meaning you don't just start fasting. You train for a fast to get the best results. So many of you, this is going to be your best fast. Some of you, it's your first fast. It's still going to be your best fast. But you are ready. Trust me, you're ready. The healing is going to start in many of you day one. which most often takes people 4 days to achieve what you're going to achieve day one. So expect healing even day one. Expect fat adaptation. I can't wait to read some of your numbers. Test your glucose and ketones first thing in the morning tomorrow. See where you're at. Test them later in the day just to see what you're burning for energy. You should see ketones rise, glucose drop. We'll talk more about that on the fasting days, what to expect each day. Most of you are going to be far into fat adaptation day one. You might even see 2s and 3s in your ketones, even 4s, some of you. Day one, I saw 4s. So some of you are going to be that fat adapted. Some of you are going to still struggle a little bit, okay? And fat adaptation may take longer. Neurotoxicity, I did a video on that, is an absolute factor. The fasting trio will help many of you. Trust me, even day one or day two. So tomorrow, the hunger will absolutely come, or at least the desire to eat, the emotional eating. Have a prayer, have a plan. Write down, focus on your intentions, focus on what you want out of this fast, whether it's for you or somebody else. There's the advice, there's what to expect. I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Talk to you then.